well, it is 6:30. I'd like to call this October 6th, right, Township Budget Meeting to order. Is there any citizen participation at this time?
A couple of things. Will there be citizen participation at the end, like a normal meeting is? Just so I know.
Yeah, but it won't be a question and answer. I mean, this is deliberation
Okay.
amongst the board. It's a working meeting for
Yep.
the board for the budget.
Yep.
So,
So I'll ask all my questions now. Will the draft budget be posted to the website? In PDF format when it's approved for advertisement? Because I know normally last year it only went up after it was approved, and I think it would help get it out there to residents beforehand.
When it's tentatively approved and advertised.
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I'm looking for. Yep. When you guys say, yes, we can advertise it? Yep. Okay. Can you, to help justify to residents why we are proposing spending a certain way, can a supervisor please describe what individual funds we didn't spend the fully budgeted amounts on this year and what funds we went over at the next meeting? Like, hey, where are we at with funds? Like, which ones are way over, which ones are way under?
Yeah, no, I don't think we're gonna do that, John.
Okay.
This is for us to figure out what the budget's gonna be. Yeah.
Okay. And then the last thing I have before the meeting is, before the next budget meeting, can a supervisor please analyze and then explain the employee expense distribution between the general fund and the solid waste fund? Because that was not equally distributed last year. It wasn't equally grown, I guess you could say. So can somebody please look at that and explain it before the next meeting?
Okay. Will you capture that in minutes?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Yeah, not gonna guarantee anything on that, John. I just wanna make sure that your question is captured. That's the point there.
I expect that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is that it? Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and before we get rolling, I'm not an accountant. My wife is, so I do often rely on her for her expertise. She's a senior accountant at the Turnpike, Pennsylvania Turnpike for 13 years. That is her background, so she's also going to be advising me here. So she's going to be probably part of the conversations here this evening amongst the supervisors, if that's good. Okay. Daisy, what's up first?
Okay, I just
Well,
want
I'm
to
gonna
make
come
sure.
over there because I can't hear. I'm deaf in one ear and can't hear.
What's that?
Okay, did everybody get, I sent this through email, the schedule. I have a copy of it. I'll give you a hard time.
God, I do that.
Okay, you have it already. I just want to make sure you know the dates and the deadline.
Yeah, now, do we have, I noticed we have this meeting on the calendar. Do we have the 20th on the calendar?
Not yet, no, I
Okay.
didn't get it.
Okay, that's good. I didn't see it. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Okay, what I want to do is, there's still a lot of information I have not received back yet, some of it. This meeting is a little bit early, and it's been a little bit harder with having just the meeting last week. Okay, I think I gave it to you, I'm here looking for it, but if you have this is the first page, it's drafted, the first page of the budget.
Oh,
When
okay,
it is
this
in
way.
the adopted form. Okay, this is a draft of the taxes. This is totally the taxes. This is, I thought we need to go over.
You have a copy.
Do you come have to copy that?
I'm not sure I do.
Where'd you get that at? I don't have that.
That was in the stack. with the
Actually,
agenda.
it was with.
It's in the
Oh,
stack.
okay,
Do you
I bet I
have
have
it
it
there?
out there. I bet I have it out there.
Oh, okay.
That's all right, go ahead.
No, I don't have
Oh,
it.
You want to sit, just so you can share it, we'll
Yeah,
share this with
okay,
them.
yeah.
Okay.
That's all right.
This is draft anyway, but I
okay.
just wanted
Go
to
ahead.
let you know
Yeah.
where we stand. This is our main
Don't
revenues
told me
for
that.
the township. because we're funded percentage-wise, the major percentage is taxes,
Right.
as most municipalities are. So anyway, our tax that I looked at just briefly in draft, is up by 13,000. I did not increase the real estate taxes. And I guess that's my question too. Is there any, thought about increasing the millage? This is with the millage as it is now, 0.900. So I just wanted to ask and let you know you have that option. I know nobody wants to hear that, but it is an option for consideration.
What would be our justification for?
We'd have to go down through the expenses,
Okay.
and then you just do less, that's what we've been doing.
Mhm.
The other thing, I think will be okay because of the ARP monies, which we can discuss later during expenses, but, if that's how you want me to proceed with trying to keep it. where
Yeah,
it is
before we
now.
talk about raising taxes more, because
Let's get
I'm not
through.
a fan of that,
Okay.
so yeah.
All right,
Certainly not.
that's what we normally do,
Would be
is
the-
try to go with what we have and see where we're at then. Okay, so I did put it up, I took down the real estate transfer, that's not there's not as much in it this time of the year as there was last year, so I took that down a little bit. All the others, I just kind of tweaked a little bit, some of the delinquents and priors, which really don't have a whole lot. The first few lines here going down are the current real estate taxes that people pay. And obviously, you never get 100% of those. So there's figured in that is the 2% discount. And I think I figured 2% off for delinquents. Although we do get some of the delinquent back in, and then eventually we'll get it, but we don't get it all. Sometimes they're late paying. I don't know why. If you saw the list, it's probably about the same. There are a few times
Yeah,
it's a
that's what they
hardship.
were.
It's
That's what
always a hardship. Okay, so
Okay,
I just wanted to run that by you so you can have that because okay. So I think that's what I needed to know for the revenues for the general fund. I'd like to go now to the solid waste.
I have a question
Oh,
before you
sure.
go, sorry. For the earned income tax, I see that it's increased for this year. And did you say that was based on what we've been receiving in? And you
Yes.
kind of
Mhm.
extracted that out to the
So
end of the year?
far, we're getting a little more. I don't know if it's the economy or what, but,
Okay,
yeah, that's what, I go by what we have right now,
Okay.
and then the remaining months.
okay,
And then I also, I try to budget conservative.
okay, thank you.
Okay, I want to go to the solid waste fund, before we get into that, that's the major thing with the revenues for the general. I wanted to go to the solid waste fund, and if you take this document, you go to page, I think it's, page 5. None of these salary accounts are done, so you won't see that this time, and that's normally how I do it. I wait to get a little bit further along and to make the estimation. Although it's 3% is the agreement, is the contract, so that's not hard to figure, but
For these solid waste salaries, do you keep like a little sheet
when I calculate it.
that calculates, okay, this is how many hours we think's gonna be spent doing that, and
Yes.
here's the rate, and then times it by the rate. And
Right.
of course, it's gonna be an increase.
I take an average, yes,
Okay,
but you never know exactly, I mean,
but I
depending on
understand that,
snow and
yeah,
ice.
I just wanted to confirm that we're not just plugging a number in
Oh,
there, that
no,
we're doing a
no,
calculation.
no, I actually have calculations on
Okay.
that I've done through the years, so. Okay, so I just want you to look at solid waste, there's not a whole lot of revenue that comes in. I did increase the, interest slightly because we just took out some CDs that had a higher rate. Thank goodness, the interest rates are going up, that's one good thing. And the collection charges, I just received that this afternoon, trying to figure out how many billings we have and, how many seniors we have. And so, right now, that's the figure that I'm at, under 09364 collection charges. That's the money that comes in from the trash billings that go out that Keystone provides me. Now that is, obviously the gross amount, and then down below, we take off the cost. So this is, the gross revenue that comes in. The miscellaneous income went up because, we have a gentleman now who at our cleanups will recycle the scrap metal and provide it to us. And, Tiger Trash was okay with that. So, that kind of netted us a little bit of additional income this year.
This is a resident that does it.
No, this is, I don't know where he's from.
I think he's from over around Duncan or somewhere like
Duncan?
that. Something like
So he
that.
takes the metals and
Yeah, he brings a
turns them in and then
dumpster
turns the.
and turns it back.
Yep.
Yeah. He actually, I forget the name of the place.
CDC is for CD.
No, that's not it.
Oh, no, I have it out there, yeah, I know which one. you
Is it
mean.
Bulldog?
Yeah, Bulldog, that's what it is. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and he, actually, we sent him, somebody gave me the address, I don't remember who.
Yeah,
But when I
Bulldog.
sent out quotes for the cleanups,
Mhm.
he responded and said he couldn't do a whole cleanup. He doesn't have that many dumpsters, and that's not what he does.
Right.
But he would take our scrap and would give us a percentage of it.
Mhm.
So, and I think I talked to
Helped
you,
it.
or somebody,
Or you-
and said, what do you think? And you said, well, check with Tiger, so they're not offended, And they said, no, that would be fine. So we let them have
Yeah.
one container, and then,
They still got one.
yeah, they still had
So
some.
they helped them out too.
Yeah, so that's a little bit, I mean, it's really not much, it's
Well, it's something.
$1,000
It is.
is
It's
what.
still
I don't recall how that worked with Tiger. They just gave us that bin at no charge.
Right, they don't
That's-
charge us
they
for the
don't
scrap
charge for
bins
that.
either,
Okay,
but
that's
they
what I
keep.
thought.
But they keep the money, they keep the money they get when they sell, when
That's
they
why I
sell.
assumed it was,
Yeah.
which,
Yeah,
makes
that
Makes
sense.
sense.
Right,
The line item to pay the contractor, for the new year, is that based on what they said they were gonna charge us?
right,
Okay.
and a 3-year contract, so that's not negotiable.
That's fine,
And
I'm
why
just.
they have the sense, the next time we do that, I wanna make sure that we
Yeah.
say, please,
Yeah.
no
Rounded.
cents. I mean, last year I think it was 15 or whatever it was,
That's a
80.
little double.
And before that, I think it was 15, it's like, why do they not round up or
Right,
down,
right, yeah.
I don't know, but anyhow, that's why the cents are in there. So that's where we're at now, and it does look like, we will have to, transfer money again from the capital reserve in order to balance it. Because we do have some CDs that are insulating the fund, and, so, I just ran these numbers quickly, and it looks like there's gonna be maybe 25,000 to 30,000, I'm guessing, 25,000, 30,000, that we'll have to take from capital reserve. And these are estimates, so last year, I only had to take a little over $2,000. So it really wasn't what we thought last year. I'm talking 2021, not this year. I can't do this till the end of December, till all the bills and everything are in, and then I transfer the money. So, anyway, it's been working for us doing it that way, and, that way we don't overburden our residents with trash fees. Although, I do not want to see what they come in on the next
Yeah.
ones. I really do not.
It's not gonna be pretty.
No, because they're having trouble finding people.
They all have to.
They do.
I mean,
They
they
do.
can't, it's not just
It's
them.
not just the waste. If anything, they might be a better company.
Maybe,
So that fund is not too hard to work with. You can see it's all on one page, and the costs are pretty much the same every year. I'm not sure where the bulk cleanup's gonna run, so if you wanna look down over some of those fees and see if you think they're reasonable. The contract calling for recycling, we are gonna have more this year. Last year, I think we only had 6, 2021. This year, we are at 7 already, and it's October. So I'm thinking we're gonna have 2 or 3 more
Right, at
calls.
least.
So at
December
three
gets
twenty.
really
With
busy.
the holidays, I'm sure it's.
We
December
always try to
is-
get the final one in, like between Christmas and New Year's,
Yeah.
to get this rate, this
Yeah.
year's rate,
Right.
and then it would, it holds us for a while
Yep.
into January. But, I figured extra hauls for next year, and it goes up to 345
Mhm.
a haul. So,
That's the 1 year, isn't it?
and then the next year is 360, yeah.
Mhm.
So it's not going down. But that's how that was calculated. The health insurance on this and on, the general is, what I always do is I figure, 5% more than what we're already paying. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. I don't know what it's gonna do this year. Health insurance is so unpredictable.
At what point do you get a number for what the health insurance is gonna be for the
Not
year?
until, April.
No.
So I have to our contract doesn't go calendar year.
Okay,
It goes from June to
Okay.
May 31st,
Okay.
June 1st to May 31st.
okay.
So that makes it a little harder. So even if it's by putting in 5%, we only realize a little over half a year. So it could be 9%. So I hope it's not that, but that would cover, because you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it would only be from,
Right, because I know what it's gonna be for the next 5 months into 2023, but I don't know what it's gonna be from June, to the end of the year, so. That's what I've always done, and we've always been, and haven't been in dire straits with it.
Right.
So, I just take what we have now, what we're paying now, and add 5% to that. And some of these things, I pull out the amount for solid waste, and then the auditors will, usually the solid waste owes the, general fund. So that's just to keep the numbers down a little bit, the expenses down a little bit, but it's still realistic. It's not, it's not off by much. But I always try to, they will tell me the final figures for the payroll taxes. They want part of that coming out of, and our system doesn't do that. It doesn't separate them. So at the end, when they're doing, I always have an adjusting journal entry to do that, so. But pretty much, we're gonna stay with the same. I should ask that instead of just assuming that you want to keep the same rates for everybody. It's $56 a quarter and 45 for seniors over
What
65.
percent do we have of seniors?
I didn't figure percentage.
Or,
Just numbers,
Just numbers? Okay. wait a minute.
if you have
I
numbers.
have it here. I thought we brought it out. Okay. We have all total 922 billings, and we have 797 accounts billed at regular rate,
I'm sorry, seven.
797, and 125 billings at 45. And that fluctuates throughout the year.
Right.
When people move in, move out. We have a couple people that have some hardships that are on low rate commercial. So, they have extra trash because they have special needs, children, or might be an elderly, but they'll get on with the low rate commercial. So there's, that's not all the billings we have. There might be a half a dozen more. So maybe 930 total billings. Then we have the commercial billings also, which we only have like 7 of those. So people that have businesses that have dumpsters. That gives you that. And I just got this afternoon. I had asked for it last week, but you know how that goes. Okay, so do you have any questions? And the consensus was to keep the
The rate,
rates.
hold the rates steady.
Hold the rates,
So
all
just to
right?
calculate how many
As
hours.
long as everything works
And then
out
she's gonna go,
financially.
she'll calculate that.
Yeah, I didn't do any of the salaries yet.
Yeah.
But I do have, there again, I have a sheet that I calculate that, I figure the overtime, the only overtime here, which I was able to do that because that's quick and easy, is for the cleanup.
Okay,
You know, we don't have overtime for trash like
right.
we could have had before when we were doing it ourselves. It's
Right.
maybe just the Saturday, when they work the Saturday to get overtime.
Okay, and before Kathy answers, asks the question, so yeah, I'm good with keeping the rates the same, sorry.
Okay.
Just it's not really a question, it's more like a comment. We don't have anything listed yet for the solid waste salaries, and I know you said you haven't calculated that yet. We just wanna be certain that, the sheriff payroll taxes is calculated once you have that. Cause right now there's a dollar amount in there. The payroll taxes should be a percent of, whatever the
Right,
salaries
I
are.
just took from last
Okay,
year, that's just from last year, but yeah, if I have to tweak that, I will,
okay,
when I get it done. If you look at what it was last year, that's with the final audited journal entry, because they always audit it,
Mhm.
always.
Mhm.
They always audit the amounts, they go back and forth. And, it was 1183, so I just made it 1200, just to try to get an estimate as to what am I gonna, how are these gonna balance?
Mhm.
And do I need to pull from capital reserve? What are we gonna do there? So that's kind of why I put that in there. The only thing I left off was the salaries, because I don't have that total amount done yet, but that will come.
okay.
Okay, so we might as well move back to the general fund, and I'm gonna give you, and this is a draft also, of the salary resolution. You guys can see, I'm sorry. And if you wanna look at it, not that it makes a big difference, but it does make a difference, and one of the reasons I don't calculate, the salaries, because, for instance, the part-time solid waste laborer is $14 an hour, still what you would like to pay. So you have to look at those things and let me know if there's a change in that, because that will change slightly, will change the, budget amount.
I'm sorry, the part-time solid waste labor is for
When they come to help at cleanup,
okay,
there's like maybe 3 or 4 guys.
right, okay, but that's
That would be
that's
about
it. That's
That
it.
would be, yeah.
That's the only time we use it.
Basically,
That's
and
pretty, okay, go ahead.
is that all, that is the only one?
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah, that was my assumption, I just wanted to be sure there wasn't something else.
Yeah.
That's pretty dirt cheap though, I mean, what you guys think.
It is,
I
yeah.
mean, I think we could help out a little bit there. I don't think we're gonna break the budget. It's only for what? 8 hours and 5 hours and
13,
13 hours.
maybe 13 hours.
I'd say keep that as is for now, because, yeah, we can revisit that if need be, unless somebody else has it. So,
Yeah, well, for, in this day and age, actually, it's a wonder anybody would do that, but okay.
Well, they're,
That's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm saying.
well, McDonald's is probably paying that.
Yeah,
Pretty close,
yeah. I mean, it's not very easy work.
and it's not easy work, that's the biggest
These
issue.
guys here are actually the ones unloading this stuff. Me and Johnny's in the backhoe, running the backhoes.
Yeah,
I mean, it's labor intensive. I don't think $20 would be out of the question myself for the day's work.
what would that total be? So 14 to 6, an additional $6 an hour, right? How many hours do we typically have in that?
Well, we have 13, and then they've been coming, a couple of them been coming on Fridays, and I don't know if it's on Thursdays, or no, just Fridays for 8 hours.
Friday and Saturday for 5 hours.
So it's just 13 hours total, if they work all of them.
Sean's got his calculator out there.
So that's $78 a person for 13 hours for
Just
one
take
guy.
78 times 5, just so
Really,
you
that's
can
not
see.
many people.
I know, but just take it, I always take it per person.
390.
Okay, so that's $400. And maybe that should say part-time solid waste / road worker, because once in a while,
Yeah, they can knock
you'll
that
have,
out. Right,
when it's not snow plowing,
Right.
you'll have someone out to help flag or.
Yeah, so, cutting to the chase, I would be in favor of, say, 18 an hour, because one is it's taxpayer money.
Yeah.
And these guys do come, and they do work hard,
Yeah,
and,
Well, it's better than 14.
yeah, no, but again, it's taxpayer money, and we really don't have to beat anybody to come and do it, so, I think that's a fair compromise, that's my.
I'd be okay with that. Yeah.
18?
That would,
Okay.
yeah. That would make it a little more,
Yeah, it's a little.
that would make it a little more appealing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It might give Brad more options.
Just so you
People that
know,
would be willing
when
to
they
do.
do vote on this, you will not vote.
Right.
So, I mean, you could discuss and
Right.
give your opinion, but you
Okay.
cannot
Yep.
vote. Okay, so I'm gonna change this and say part-time solid waste / road, because if they need somebody, then it's covered. I mean, then we have a category for the payment.
Wait, now say that again?
Down there, the one that they just changed from the $14 to 18, it says PTT, part-time temporary solid waste labor. I'm gonna put, road, and maybe underneath, as needed, non-seasonal. And it's not plowing, or do I just need to say
So what would-
part-time roads? Like if he needs someone to help flag or someone to drive a truck.
Okay,
or,
okay, I
you know,
got you.
Say they're both working and they need someone to haul stone while they're working, they can have pull a guy in or something.
Right.
And it's not snow plow.
Yep.
That's already set at $20 an hour.
I know it's not budget related, but at some point we need to have a discussion about how do we handle cleanup going forward, because again, it's getting more and more that we're unloading everything, and that's just, especially with the age of some of us. It's, it can be frustrating, so I think we need to think our strategy on that, rethink it.
You know, have to buy a new feeding packages.
Put that in your budget. Okay, is that all right then to add / road, part-time solid waste / road laborer? So if we have a part-time laborer, okay, that'll cover that then. Okay, yeah, because they don't get benefits or anything like that. Anything else?
No?
Okay. All right, well, that'll help me. That seems done. Okay.
And this was just a draft copy.
That's just a
right?
draft, yes, that's not the final, absolutely not. Okay, I want you to look at the fees that are being charged. And, from what I can see, I hope your last page isn't upside down. I don't, is it,
That's all right.
it's
That's
just
fine.
mine,
That's right.
is yours upside down?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's funny how they came out of
That's
the
all
copy,
right.
I just grabbed it. Anyway, I don't foresee that there's anything, the only thing I can say is, on the zoning hearing board variance, we kind of lost money on that the last time, because the fees have gone up for the solicitor. So I don't know if you want to just leave it at $750 and leave it, or you want to increase it slightly. It wasn't that we ate a lot, I'd say it was between $100 and $200.
If we increase, that's the idea of it, is that the person petitioning should be
paying for it, so if we have to, I'd be in favor of making some adjustments.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that. How many,
Well,
many do we
I
actually have?
budget for, I've done it because that tends to be, you know, the norm. Once in a while we'll have 3, but normally we don't have more than 2.
two?
Okay, so it'll be another.
So I
20
budget
bucks.
for 2.
Okay.
So, like I said, once in a while we have 3. In the one year we had none, and the next year we had 3, so it kind
So
of,
average.
it averages out to about 2 a year, so that's what I budget. So what would you think?
Well, so you said we're about 200 shy, so if we
Yeah.
have 2, it's $100 more. That
Yeah,
sound-
yeah.
Make it 850 instead of
Make it
750.
850? Okay. And that would be effective as of January 1st.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll do this at, organization meeting. Anything else? If you see, solicitor's license, I know it's only $25, but once in a great while, someone will come in because somebody reports them that they're going door to door, and it's not a Girl Scout or a Boy Scout, and, they'll come in and then they'll take the application and they don't come back.
Yeah, that's something also, I think, as a township, we need to get a handle on these, I see them, mostly pest control.
Pest control, oh, they haven't been in my
And
house.
each time that I talk to them, they say that they're gonna come over and
They
see
never
you.
do.
They never do.
They probably got what they wanted and left.
Yeah, so. Not sure what to do about that, but you're asking, yeah, so the fee is.
The fee is $25, like you said, well, I budget $25 and we haven't had any, so.
So we haven't had any. We haven't had
I had some inquiries, but
Okay.
not, one guy called and then some residents had called. Somebody was out in the western end not too long ago. I forget what they were selling.
Renewal by Anderson was one of the.
Yes, that's,
That
no, it wasn't Renewal by Anderson, it was a solar company,
Oh, yeah.
some solar company.
You see that guy, that's on, remember, of that solar company,
Mhm.
he talked to me about that. Yeah. Remember him, he was back in already.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, so many solar applications
There's
have
been so
come.
many of them.
Yeah,
But everything else there is pretty much, we're okay with
I
as far as
think-
you think, as far as nothing needs adjusted or.
we haven't had, I just was looking and it's hard to remember back to January.
Right.
And I knew we didn't have many subdivisions, but we had 0 subdivisions and land development, so, that's really odd, isn't it, Sean? I don't.
Yeah, but that's.
That's okay.
Okay, it's, hope it's not building up to a plethora of them.
Yeah.
So back to our chickens permit, how many of those have we?
Actually,
We haven't had any chicken.
They don't seem to have been a problem lately. I haven't seen them out on
No,
850 and Valley Road, New Valley Road.
I haven't, well, I can't say I haven't seen
Yeah.
any on New Valley, I have along the road, but just thought, please put your chickens away, someone's gonna hit them. But, I think they were eating bugs and they just loved it, but it's kind of dangerous for the chickens. But no, I haven't had anybody inquire. I had somebody who was gonna move in, who was, they always ask me have chickens, and I said, yes, but you need to apply for a permit, you know, and they said, oh, okay. But either they didn't buy the house or they just put the chickens in, I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, they do, people are used to inquiring about it because, if they're coming from another municipality, because it's pretty much, you know, kind of what you do.
it's pretty much everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, for the backyard chickens.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you don't see anything else on that, except for, that's the only thing I saw that was kind
Okay.
of a little low on the fee. Unfortunately, I hate to tell people how much it is, but,
When we send registered letter to somebody for a notice of violation, do we recoup that and then?
not unless it goes to, the district justice. You
Okay.
know, then I put down administrative fees.
Okay.
And, because Brian and I get together, we haven't done that for a while, but we get together and I put down my fees, what it's cost us for postage and different things, so.
Okay.
Then we recoup it, but only if it goes to that level.
Okay.
And he's actually got a fine for the township too, so.
Yeah, that's true. But most times it's, we don't go there unless it's. we have to.
Absolutely.
Right, we don't wanna go there. Okay,
Actually, the one that strikes me though, it's only $70 to open cut and work under township road for a utility.
That's pretty cheap, ain't it?
That's pretty cheap, isn't it? Cause that can,
let me see.
if they do that,
That's
they,
the last
if,
one on the last
it's,
page.
oh, it's the next to last one,
On the last page.
one last page, yes.
Last page, the
Well,
last
what
one.
to do with it, I must have
There you
stuck
go.
it. Just let me see, utility, it's 95.
Oh, it's 95.
Together.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
but-
okay.
There's-
Yeah, but that's
That's
still,
still pretty
but that's
cheap,
still
yeah.
cheap
That's
though.
pretty cheap. I think so.
I think you have to go, I think our ordinance
Is that
says we have to go by what.
I was gonna say, is that limited? Yeah. It's not.
Of course.
Yeah.
So we're right there then?
Can you just check to make sure that we are?
Okay, check.
I know that doesn't happen very often, but that
Check
could,
on utility.
that could become a
One
problem if
this
they
year.
do it
Yeah,
wrong.
right, yeah.
I only had one this year.
Yeah,
Usually there's a couple.
I know, it
Especially
was the
in
cable company, and the guy was real nice about it, but they did it, and then they don't always call us, but when I get one call,
Uh-huh.
then
then you know.
I know that they're cutting. And I'll even say to Brad, hey, keep your eye open, it looks like they're gonna be opening the road. Sometimes they're drilling under.
I
or
prefer if they
some-
could, I prefer if they would bore, but
Right.
yeah, I mean,
Most of the time it's four.
yeah.
But anyway, when I contact them, then they'll say, oh, a permit, I said, or else I contact Blue Ridge and they say, you guys are responsible, they didn't get a permit.
Right.
So then they get in touch with them, so.
They just start up with a while.
I know, it's another $95, right?
Right.
But I had one this year and that was it. It was, they always have a third-party contractor come in and do it for them, so. Anyway, I will check on that ordinance. Last I remember, it had to do, it was kind of a line, something with
That's,
that.
that's,
Okay, and I don't know if you have this or not, but I had sent it through electronically.
actually, yeah,
Do you have
I
that?
have that, but that's okay.
Okay, and this is from our auditors, so in order for me to,
Oh, was this on the savings? Is this the one about the savings, or is
Oh,
that,
it
that's
is.
another one?
No, that's the same.
Okay, okay.
yeah,
The
oh,
savings
yeah.
opportunity.
I'm thinking savings general.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, this has to do with the proposal, since, we need a new 3-year proposal.
Mhm.
And this is what they proposed.
Mhm.
I talked to him for quite a bit, quite at length, because it's gone up. And they actually, have been giving us like almost a 40% discount. And they said, we just can't do it anymore. So we're still getting a 20% discount, but it has gone up. And he said, I know, that's a lot for us, but he said it's pretty much in line. I know when we got RFPs before, they were over $10,000, and that was 3 years ago.
And they do a great job for us too.
They do, they're very thorough. There's always somebody new on staff, and they put us through the ropes those several days they're here. And they always seem to find a thing that's misfiled. I said, how do you guys do that? I mean, I'm glad they do them one way, but then you're like, why? Nancy even goes through the files when we know they're coming, and she'll go through them, because it's easy for something to catch to the back or go to the, and she said, I even went through them and we still misfiled one. I said, hey, we're human.
I read over some of your notes when you sent these to the supervisors, and I recommend just keeping all of them, because the dollar amount savings is minuscule.
Well, I'll
Not
make that
min- not
recommendation.
minuscule,
Yeah.
but-
Again,
Yeah.
yeah,
One in particular is the, in to leave out the MD&A, and I think that's very important because
Although I would still do it.
I know, but you couldn't put it with the financial statement
No, I
reports.
have to
You'd have to make it
Stick
separate.
it, right.
But I like it to be there because even though they don't audit it, they do review it. And I like that because when we include the whole thing together, we know that it's the complete audit. And when the residents want to see it, there's a lot of detail
Oh,
in that.
the MD&A is in layperson's terms, it's in my terms
Yes.
that I
Yes.
understand.
Yes. Yeah, and there's a lot of detail there. So
And,
would
and I should say,
definitely-
since this is being recorded and
Oh,
other
yeah, yeah.
folks may
Oh,
not
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so Kathy is also one of the township auditors, so elected auditors. So again, that's why when this came through and you mentioned about the cost savings opportunities,
Mhm.
I thought, well, it does look like a small amount, but hey, every cent counts, but
Yeah.
then,
He was going by what
Yeah.
is required
Right.
Yeah.
for a
Oh,
township
yeah, I
our age.
understand that.
I mean, our age,
Yeah,
our size.
I definitely said keep the MD&A. The other ones,
Oh my goodness,
It's
and we
kinda-
absolutely want the full financials.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
cannot
that
take
wasn't
out.
even a
Yeah, that's right.
consideration.
Oh,
But the
yeah.
reporting of the, auditing of the capital assets, is really,
It's not much,
it's not much.
it's not
you mean
much.
the cost of the report.
The cost, yes.
So even the reporting isn't
Yeah.
that much, because I give them my Excel spreadsheet, and then they just,
For
adjust
purposes
it.
of the residents, we're talking, $500,
Yeah.
$400,
And 600.
and it's
So keep it as
$600.
is.
So I would say keep it as
That's-
is. Because the main audit is, for next year is gonna be $14,250.
no.
13,550.
For next year.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, because
they-
it-
The audit
it's the year
2022.
behind.
I was saying, okay, I thought that this was this for
Yeah.
the one
No.
they just did.
This
Yeah,
year was, 9,900.
Okay,
Okay, so it's still
Okay.
13,550.
13,550 plus another, what?
Yeah,
$1,600.
And I prefer to keep them, I'm a graphics, I charts.
Okay, and these numbers are already included up there.
Yes,
So
they
if we were
are.
to take them out,
Yes, they
okay, yeah, I would definitely just keep them in.
It's kind of-
I definitely-
Yeah.
Whether I'm here or not, I want to see a good audit, especially if I'm not here. I want the township to have a good audit, I really do. I've always said that. I remember back when they went to the independent auditing firm, and I remember Ron Evans came to me and said, "Will you be offended?" I said, "Offended? I think it's a wonderful idea."
A lot of
I'm not
townships don't
offended
have
at
it,
all.
and then they're the ones that are in the news for being ripped off.
Right, exactly. So, let's go back now, so that will help me fill in that one line item. Let's go back to this, Excel spreadsheet. And the first page is the general fund revenues. And, we pretty much went through most of those. So let's, and some of them are, it goes by what we got last year, the volunteer fire relief, the MMO, I already presented that to you, so you see that amount. Where is it now? The MMO is on the other page, on the second page. Isn't it? No, that's, yeah, the MMO is on in the expenses, I'm sorry. The state aid for the pension, that might go up, that's what they're telling us, the state.
What
auditor.
line item is that?
I'm sorry, 01355-090. And I put that at 10.6 because this year we got 10.559.97. But I expect that to go up next year slightly, it tends to go up. Like you did see from the year before, we only got, 94.72. So it has gone up slightly, and we're all eligible for it. You have to be in a plan for so long, there's some eligibility requirements, but all three of us are eligible to use it, and our plan is eligible. So, we're willing to they'll keep that program and we'll be able to continue to get the pension. Is there any other questions on the revenues at this point? Instead of just going down over, some of them I know the ones that I can kind of tweak a little bit. And in the next 2 weeks, I will get more information. There will be more bills coming in, there will be more deposits made. And,
I'm just looking at the one line item, then when I saw what it was, it made sense, okay.
okay. Yeah, some of them don't change, the game commission and lower taxes, that, I wish they would raise that a little bit, but that's been 78, 88 for a long time. And since they have almost 6,600 acres of game commission land,
I wonder if there's a way you can petition for
more money. I doubt it.
It might just be a thing where, hey, they're so complacent about just sending that out, and I don't know how they determine if they're gonna increase or not, but
I don't
just
know.
brought it up.
They keep raising all their hunting license fees and fishing license.
Okay, so we're okay with the, that part of the revenue?
I think so, and I'm going to, since we just have so many new CDs at the higher rates, I didn't calculate the interest yet either. I did have Nancy go through last week or the week before, and she put together the solid waste CD interest, so I could project that. But that's why that's blank, because I wanna make sure I get, that's the one thing that's going to increase for us.
Which one is that?
The 341 010, the interest income. I did not put in a figure there. So even though we won't realize a lot of the increase
Oh,
this year,
okay.
because it's October,
Mhm.
we will see some of that next year, for most of the year, so. I wanna try to get a better handle on it. I have an idea, but I really wanna do a little more calculation of that, so. Like I said, I just went this past week and put another CD in from the meeting that we had, so. We'll get that down, but I'll just do a straight interest. That's usually, if I don't have the amount, I just do.
So what about the, on the second page of the spreadsheet there, the sewage permit fees
I wasn't sure about that.
and the zoning permit fees?
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that one either, so I didn't put anything in there yet.
Well, it looks like year to date, we have 4.5, we had almost 10,000 last year actual. So how do you normally figure out what the amount's
You
gonna be?
don't, it's really hit or miss. You can have more malfunctions, one's planning for those.
But historically, how do
but-
we come up with a number, just?
The new
best guess?
homes,
Yeah,
knowing the
okay.
new homes coming in.
Okay.
And I just kind of take an average of the last few years, because you just don't know. You don't know who's gonna sell property, and-
But in the grand scheme, let's say
And I
we were off by
haven't
100%.
Pardon,
Let's say we were off by 100%, just to take our,
it's not
be
gonna make.
significant. So, yeah, let's not kill ourselves, trying to.
But I do want to get with Lenny, he's off on Fridays, he works a 4-day week, unless he gets behind, then he will work on Fridays. But, I have not gotten a new sewage schedule sewage fee schedule for next year.
Are we anticipating an increase?
Every year they increase it,
Okay.
something,
Okay.
not a lot, but they've been increasing it. He's with that new firm now, and I know Mr. Madden is retiring, so completely. He was going to retire, and then COVID came,
Right.
so yeah, he'll be retiring. And there's some new younger man, I met him up at the convention, his name's Matthew. He's going to be coming on as the alternate, so we'll be appointing a new alternate, at the organization meeting. But Lenny said he's a good guy, he's kind of taking him under his wing and showing him the ropes, so to speak. So, I know one thing we didn't talk about was the ARP monies. Wasn't sure what you wanted to do with them. We haven't allocated anything, we haven't spent anything out of there. We have committed $125,000 into that brokered CD at over 4%. In fact, when I talked to him, it was 4.15, so that's gonna net us over $5,000 additional income from that, and you can use the interest for whatever, general monies. Except I would not use it for pension. I wouldn't, the things that is prohibited, I would not use it for that, but we got a lot of other things we could use it for, we don't have to worry about the things that you can't use it for. So I didn't know what you wanted to do. We have right now, slightly over $250,000, and $125,000 is committed into that CD. And another $100,000 is in, a no penalty CD per the resolution you adopted Thursday night. And that is at 1.5%. So we'll probably net and leave that in for a year, and then we'll net the full $1,500. So there's $6,500 more that we can make the ARP monies work for us. But I didn't know what you wanted to do with that money. Just say $250,000.
I don't know that we know what we wanna do with it.
I know.
There's no time
There is a time.
what's the,
We need to spend next year. We need to spend some next year, and we need to spend 2024, because it either needs to be spent or obligated by December 31st, 2024, and it needs to be completely expensed by December 31st, 2026. It has to be obligated by 24.
Can you use that for equipment or anything?
You can use it for anything, because we took the standard allowance. So, what, I had talked to some of the other secretaries at the convention and asked what they were doing. In fact, that was a topic of discussion with Holly Fisher from PSATS. And some of them are using it for payroll, because that's a steady thing, you gotta pay people, and they're using it for that. And that way, they have more money by using it for a stable expense. They have more money to give the fire company, or to do the culvert, or whatever. So they're using their ARP monies. Doesn't mean you're giving it all to your employees, it's just you're gonna pay that anyway. So it's easier for them to use it that way. Now, that was a very small municipality. What were some of the others? There's another municipality that's putting in a culvert bridge. So it's all going into that project.
Do we have any big projects scheduled for next year?
That was something we need to talk about, but I don't know.
Because if we have a big project, we'll just say, okay, let's use it for that.
Right, that would be easier for reporting,
Yes.
which is what Holly said. You don't wanna say 500 here, 1,000, she said you'll drive yourself crazy with trying to account for it.
Yeah.
Excuse me, which I have to send a report in.
So, yes, we opened this meeting with mention of raising the millage.
Mm-hmm.
So we got this 250,000 that, hey, my view on that is that's a tax on the residents. That's a tax on all of us.
we all paid
We all
for it.
paid.
I mean,
That's
for better or for worse,
So
we
shoot, the
did.
millage is already by other means going up.
They already figured how to get it, yeah.
Yeah, so,
I think go through the budget, figure everything out for the budget, determine if you're gonna do a big project. and
Or if
then-
there's something you,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, because you don't really, I mean, I don't think that's part of the budget process to determine which monies we're
Oh, no,
gonna use.
no.
You know what I mean?
I
So,
just know you need to think
Yeah.
about that, because I do need to budget, you know, if we're gonna pull some money in from capital reserve, which is where the ARP
We would have
monies
to,
went.
if we're gonna do anything of any size,
If
we
you,
would have
if
to.
you come up and say, oh, we're putting a bridge over X, Y, Z, you know, we didn't realize we need that, so we need $125,000, okay? So then we would budget that, you know, if you discover something in the next few weeks, but I'm just using that for example. But there are, I mean, we can use it for paving, we can use it for, instead of using our liquid fuels, we've really spent down. I just got the last document that I needed from New Enterprise. So I will be figuring out how much has to come out of general and have that check ready for the October meeting.
you know, the kicker, for $250,000 that we, our township received, federal government probably spent $1 million.
Yeah, that's
to-
true.
to-
And administering it.
did we,
Yeah.
I know we didn't get to that yet, but what about salt purchase?
Salt purchase?
Yeah.
You mean for ARP monies, or you
No,
just
yeah,
the salt?
can you purchase the salt?
Yeah, I think.
How much is that?
Right now, the salt is, like, what did I say, $78? $78 a ton.
And how much do we?
How much should we use?
What
What
do
they
we
use,
use?
like,
Yeah, it's,
Just
rough.
Just rough
I'm
guess.
gonna say, what we have, if you figure what we have, are you figuring what we have now? or
No,
you
just how
talking-
much?
How much
should
we're
we use?
gonna use in one season, that's
Okay,
the
let me
only.
think. I think we put down about 180 ton, 175 ton.
Okay, so we'll call that, what, 150 grand? What do you say, $78 times? Sorry, that was quick.
And I hate to
Yeah,
tell
it
you,
was.
Way off.
that was something I'm working on too. I just got a quote for Annisfield and the Co-Star's bid, and, I can't.
Do we have a line item for salt? Can I just look
Oh,
at?
yeah, there is. Let me find it for you. It's 430.
What is it, 430 what?
times 175.
432242.
Okay,
That's salt and cinders. Which if you notice, I didn't put anything in because I'm just now getting the quotes in.
Order of magnitude.
Nah,
Okay.
if it's $78 a ton, 100 tons would be $7,800, so, I mean, that makes
The numbers
sense.
off. That's why I bring the
okay.
accountant.
you must be brain dead tonight.
I am.
It is, it's been a long day.
Okay,
It's still
okay,
expensive.
it was just a thought, I'm trying to think of big ticket items
Right,
that you could,
right,
instead of, willy-nilly.
right. That's what they were suggesting.
Don't pull the big accounting terms out.
Could we do guide rail replacement so it's not gonna kill somebody out there, maybe?
John, you're not part of this discussion. I appreciate
Okay.
that. but,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing out options.
Okay. What about, pay the health insurance for the year? Can you go
But I
towards that?
don't know about that. I'd have to check for sure.
Okay, I think maybe we could just table that for right now. and let's go on with the
Sure, you
budget.
can go on.
Okay.
I just want you to know that we're getting down, now we haven't used any. Some of the other municipalities have used some of theirs. And it's okay if we don't use any, but just so you know, we need to. I wouldn't let it go till the last year and then say, oh, what are we gonna do with it? One of the things I do want you to consider, if we are doing that, like this year, one of the questions I have, which kind of triggered my mind, it all ties together. But the volunteer fire companies, if you got your request for a donation, their annual fund drive, if you read that pamphlet or that they had in it, they're looking at putting a new roof on their building in Marysville. And anyway, my question is, do we still want to give them, normally we gave them, they get from our taxes, but we gave them an additional donation of 10,000 each to each fire company. Is that doable for next year?
Yeah, because I thought we were doing it in pieces. I mean, spoke
We
with
had
them
talked
before.
about that, yes,
yeah, so we gave them the first,
10,000.
yes, and I think we're in agreement that we were gonna provide
Is that
them more.
right?
My recollection.
They, believe me, they desperately deserve it. I mean,
They are there, I mean, they really are. 411, okay, 01411, payments to fire companies.
I'm sorry, Daisy,
That's-
what line again?
No, wait a minute, that is, I've got to, if you're okay with the taxes, I don't do those until I have my tax schedule done.
Where are we at, Daisy?
01411-541, it's just a contribution. It's on page 3.
Okay.
Page 3, contribution fire companies.
Okay, so it was 10 and 10.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
and I
we
see I
said,
forgot a zero in that, anticipation in 20,000. Okay, so we'll just leave that at 20, that'll be 20,000. And the other payments to ambulance fire companies, that comes off of your tax money. So when I'm all done with this schedule here, then I add them all together. And so it's all, the current real estate for the fire, current real estate for the ambulance, and then it's the prior, and then it's the delinquent.
And then that's what should be
And
there.
that's what it should be here for them, yes. So they correspond that way.
Oh,
Did you get that?
yeah, so, I'm sorry, so line item 541 again, back to the contribution.
Yes,
That typo, 2,000
Yes,
should
that's
be
a
20, so
typo.
we should have another 18,000 at the final figure on page 4, correct? That should be almost 520, is that, should be 518, 759, is that correct? Right, that's summed all the way through. Did I,
where were you at 18,000?
Yeah, we just made it 20.
the anticipated column,
Yeah, it
It's
should
two
be,
thousand.
it's missing a zero.
Right, so that means there should be an additional 18,000 that rolls down to
Right.
the sum on the next page.
Yes,
Is what it was getting, okay,
yes.
okay, I just want to make sure I understood that.
Yeah, that's right,
Okay.
that's right. Yeah, the formulas are in there.
Okay.
What is this? I don't know, maybe it's tired. It's tired. Okay, how about radio maintenance?
Well, we got that looked at this year, so.
What line?
Radio maintenance, which is 409,327 on page 3. We're still on page 3.
Hopefully I have them all fixed up this year.
Are you okay for now? But what about next year?
Well, they should be all fixed.
Okay,
So he's gotta get me a used radio yet for one truck. So it's gonna be about $250 yet, but then we wanna come up and do it
okay.
for this year.
But he's gonna do that before winter?
Right, so
Okay.
then they ought to all be fixed this year,
Okay,
okay? So,
I didn't know. I know you said there was problems there. Okay, so what do you think? Just keep,
yeah. What do you have at 350?
yeah,
Just let it go.
leave it there?
What's it, what's it generally cost if you gotta get one fixed?
I have no idea.
It depends what's wrong with it,
Well,
right?
Yeah.
what the problem is, our radios, they can't really fix no more.
Cause they're
They're
obsolete.
old. So he's trying to make it work
Mm.
with a used radio that's newer, so it'll work all the other radios.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's gonna bring one new radio in to work all of them.
Don't- yeah.
So hopefully that works. Let's just leave it there for now.
Well, yeah.
Okay with that, David?
That's fine. How about any, building remodeling and improvements? Do you have anything? This would be more like around the structures here.
No, we did the windows, we did LED lights.
Windows. Yeah, the lights are all done, and actually our bill is lower.
The lights are a big,
Yeah.
especially in the shop. I actually see it all, but
Yeah, I don't recall we had anything else.
So where do you let them line items out? You just leave them where you have them, or?
Well, I don't know, we should put something in
We
there,
really
just
need
in
to have-
case.
Well, yeah, I mean, do you just leave it as you anticipated to?
Right, I don't know,
Well,
I just took what we did last year. I don't know.
Right,
Is there
right.
anything, I can't recall, I couldn't
Yeah.
recall anything that we had mentioned, in passing.
Well, we don't see.
One thing I would wish that you guys could do, and I don't know if, I know sometimes when I come in, and it's usually every 4 to 6 weeks,
Mhm.
those lines in there, in the police department, they're not closed off, and it smells like sewer gas.
Mm.
I mean, the one afternoon I
just-
was so drowsy, and I thought,
We
oh,
checked that, this week, but everything was full.
that's
of
because
water.
I filled it.
Ah,
I
okay.
just filled it because I came
We
in,
smelled it one day.
Yep.
And then
You
we
can
went and
smell
checked
it.
it.
but when you're in here, you don't smell, and after I'm thinking, wow, I'm really tired.
Yeah.
And I thought, I wonder if it's that, so I go over and check it,
Right.
but, I
Can we
was
just
wondering,
disable it?
That's what I'm wondering.
Just
I
bring somebody in
don't
to.
know what you can do.
There's
You might
still
be able
water in
You might be able to, cap that. You might just be able to cut it off the bottom and cap it, and then it won't come up at all. Because what happens, the trap gets dry,
Yeah.
and then it lets the gas come up. We could try capping that. I mean, me and Johnny could do that right now.
it seems to be
And
the
then if we
sink.
need it, we can hook it
Yeah,
back up.
yeah.
It's a plastic.
Better yet, yeah.
So
I'd
what
be in
I'm
favor
Yeah.
of that, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm carrying a
But the
bucket
toilet,
every,
now, that might be a little bit different.
I don't mind,
Cap the
but-
toilet hole.
it's not so bad, and then one day it was
I
really
don't know
bad,
how
I don't
you
know.
cap the
I had to open the
Me
door in there to get it out,
That
it
would
was
be tough.
bad.
The
That's
toilet
not
hole.
good.
Stretch wrap over the,
Huh?
stretch wrap over the.
It's
It's
the
as
sink
crude as
I
that
can-
sounds,
And
it's-
the sink I can handle in the urinal might be able to handle that one. The toilet, I don't know how I'm gonna cap.
I don't think it's the toilet,
Okay.
because that always seems to have some
I
water.
think it's more the
I
sink.
think it's the sink,
Well, we can
and
fix the sink. Yep.
yeah, I think it's the
Okay,
same,
well, we can fix that.
okay.
All
So,
right.
that was just my thought,
Yep,
that was the
well,
one
that's
that
all right, that's why we're here. Just remind me, okay?
Mhm.
And then join.
So you're gonna do that, and that's not gonna be in the budget, that's.
No, that's just a plastic fitting.
All right.
That's only like, maybe $10 at the most for
Uh-huh.
the fitting, so whatever.
Okay.
We deal with that. Okay,
Okay.
just remind me.
I'll just put something in there and, From-
Yeah,
I'll
just make sure
What
there's
we
something
had
in
last
there.
year.
Yeah.
I'll forgive you.
okay.
Okay. When you need something, what are we gonna put in there? You gonna do the same as last year?
On the building.
I was gonna put 1,200,
Okay.
does that seem okay?
What, is that for the building repair?
No, building repair.
Yeah. that would
Well, the
be
building repair and maintenance.
Yeah, that's
You wanna
good.
keep that? at-
1,200.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then the remodel and
Yeah, that's the one,
improvements,
yep.
is there anything that we need? I know you just got garage doors and.
Yeah.
You wanna make it 0? I mean, hey, we don't, it's not.
Well,
spending money just because.
Yeah,
Something
those
we-
remodeling and improvements, I don't see anything going on there, so,
To me, remodeling and improvements is something big.
yeah.
You're not,
Mhm.
putting a new doorknob on.
You need anything,
That's one of our major improvements.
I know eventually those windows out there will need replaced in the office, because they're just as old as the two that were here.
Well, it's cheaper next year than the next year, than the next year.
I can't remember what we paid for those two windows, but,
It wasn't at that.
no, it wasn't.
Timmy helps.
Yeah, he would do it for us.
Well, do you wanna put that, you wanna let that at 1,200?
So you can maybe do that.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
If
do that.
we do it, we won't do it till it's warmer anyway.
Yep, yep. Okay.
Okay. Capital construction, no, I had 0 from last year. That would be like if you're building an addition to this, or you're building a new township building, that's to me capital.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we don't foresee anything, so why put anything in there? If we
Okay.
have to, if we find ourselves having to do it, then we
We'll have to do
find out how to
Okay.
fund it.
And the next one, I'll wait till I'm done, have all the tax schedule done. The fire relief, that should be, I didn't put that in there, that should be 15,355, I just rounded it.
Okay, so now hold on a second. So there's payments to the fire company, that's from the taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the PAA volunteer fire relief? What is that?
Pennsylvania State Aid for Volunteer Fire Reliefs. It's when somebody here buys fire insurance or outside of Pennsylvania, they charge them a 2% tax. And then that comes back and it goes into volunteer fire relief.
I'm still not getting it. What's the expense for?
Yeah.
What are we paying? We had $12,761 last year. What was
Yes.
that for?
That was money we got the money, and if you look, there's a corresponding revenue account,
Okay,
and it's exactly the same. It comes in, it goes out.
okay.
So that's what it is.
So we anticipate none coming in?
No, we do. I just didn't put that in. It's
Okay.
15,355.
So that's what we're gonna put in.
Right, because I just put in what we got this year, and sometimes usually it goes up, but a couple of years ago it went down.
That's so weird. And this is just me talking. Why are they sending it to us and we have to send it back out? Why don't whoever's sending it to us just send it out?
I don't know.
Ask them questions.
Why we're the middleman, because that is, they actually even have to have a special treasurer for that. It can't be the treasurer of the company, it has to
Of
be.
the fire
Yeah, they
company.
have to have a special fire
To
relief
deal
treasurer.
just with those funds.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And then the
It's
payments,
just, I don't know who created it, it's been around for a long time.
okay, so payments to the ambulance
Is right.
is the tax,
Mhm.
okay.
Driveway permit salary, that's probably gonna stay the same. I never know how many driveway permits
yeah.
either.
Okay.
Depends how many, if you have a new home,
Yeah.
or somebody puts in another driveway,
So that's gonna be 650.
um, I guess, yeah. That's what I'm thinking, just leave it the same.
Well, it's
600, why don't we leave it at 600? That's
600?
what I had in 22, yeah.
600, okay.
And CEO contracted services,
What is that?
that's the zoning officer.
Oh.
Code enforcement
Oh,
officer.
okay, that's right.
Contracted services.
So it's gonna be at 10,000.
that's anticipated for this year, but it might actually be more than that.
Because he's already at 9,800.
Right.
Yeah. Better make it 12.
It looks like he budgeted 12 last year.
Mhm.
12.
I don't know, maybe I need to talk to Brian, that's what
Okay.
I was thinking, because I don't know. See, right now, he's down in Coreyville and, he's working in Coreyville. He told me he may possibly move closer.
Well, talking with Brian, though, whether it's 12, 13, or 14 is no negative.
Yeah.
No,
We
but
just-
they are going to right now they're only charging us mileage
Okay.
from Mechanicsburg because he moved in the middle of the year and they're willing to go the end of the year with that mileage. So starting the beginning of the year, and I did not talk to Brian about it. I really would rather speak to him about it and see what they're looking at, see if they even want to continue.
Okay, well, at the end of the day, we still need to
Talk.
put something in there.
Right,
Okay, so whether he's gonna live somewhere else or here or there,
right. But I
we're
thought
gonna
I
pay
could get-
somebody, he may not wanna do it, so we need to pay somebody.
We can put,
Right now, year to date, we're at 9,800 and change.
right,
Let's,
and,
we
there's,
still have several months, why don't we put 12 in?
12,
Yeah, put 12 in.
right?
That should-
and then if I
that should
talk to
cover it.
him and it sounds like it's going up more,
Yeah,
I can
we'll adjust it.
adjust it a little. Okay, zoning hearing board expenses, they don't spend a lot.
We'll just leave it where it is,
Okay,
Which is,
150.
150.
That's anticipated.
That's
Yeah,
anticipated,
is that what we're gonna do? Yeah, 150.
150 is good. Gain or sale, loss of equipment. Are we selling anything next year? No?
What did we decide with the, dump truck? Okay, okay,
but it's got so much more.
Yeah. yeah, and I think it's probably a noise level too, if that wasn't worth the whole.
Yeah,
That's my recollection.
yeah.
The truck.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
The beater truck.
Our
And really, that should just be the auditor's journal entry if we have something like that. If there's a gain or loss, because it's not actual monies going out or going in. It's just the
Right.
difference between what you paid
Square.
and square
Okay.
there. So that would just be a journal entry anyway, so I would put 0.
Zero.
Unless the one year we knew we were selling something and they had a reserve amount,
Right.
but that was a better piece of
Yeah,
equipment.
yeah, that was
Yeah,
something.
but
that
it's
you-
still just a journal entry.
It's still
just a
That's
journal
fine,
entry.
yeah.
A gain or
It's-
loss
yeah.
is a journal entry,
Mhm.
okay.
Emergency management.
We just put 2,000 in there.
What's included in that? What is that for? If, for example, just give me a simple example.
Like if they would need something like flares or maybe cones, whatever the emergency management people would need.
Okay.
If, say there'd be a flood or
Okay.
barricades, I don't know.
Okay.
Do we see something coming, equipment wise needs?
Equipment?
Or, well, any of this,
Normally they use the township equipment, but I don't know if they need walkie-talkies. I mean, there could be, somebody lost and they're out in the mountains.
but we don't know any of.
No,
and
I
so
don't.
0 is,
We always put
Let's
something in there.
okay,
Put $1,000.
You need to put $1,000 in, just so you
1,000?
got something.
Is that all right?
Drug and alcohol testing, that's random, so you're never quite sure, though Johnny, if it were the lottery, he'd be a millionaire.
He gets it all.
Oh,
Be lucky,
yeah.
lucky that
I
way.
couldn't believe it when I opened it the
Every
last
time.
time.
Every
I thought,
time.
oh my
It gets so disgusting.
gosh. I know. But anyway, that's at random, it's 4 times a year,
So they, pretty much, that's what, that $300 yeah.
yeah, I would think
300.
300, because you just don't know. Right now, it depends too if they're going for alcohol and the
Right, that makes a
breathalyzer.
difference. That makes a
You know,
difference.
there's a different charge. It's $60 right now through the CDL program at, PSATs. And that's for the drug test, so. I just got one of those, as a matter of fact, I just got a bill.
SEO expense?
SEO is sewage enforcement. And there again, that's very hard to judge.
so how much of our expenses pay Delaney, do we recoup in fees? I mean, is it,
Um,
it's not a one-to-one.
no, we get pretty much back, when it's permits and, certain things we get back.
Okay.
But if it's a malfunction or a complaint, and he has to go out and there's a violation, we foot that bill. But you have to, I mean, that, how do you charge somebody?
Yeah,
Right.
It's the same way with the zoning notice of violation, we foot that bill. Unless you go to district justice, then maybe. we
that way you can
do
recoup something of it,
something.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Where are we gonna leave that at, Dave?
Okay, well, it looks like we're only at 3,700 year to
Right.
date, but
I just got another bill, what was it, $830.
tell you what, so we're already, that's gonna be at the end of October, so we only have a couple more months left.
Mhm.
60, you think that's okay, what you have there, 65? Or do you think that's?
Let me see, 845, so we're about at 45 now. Yeah, I think 65, because he's been running around 1,000. I mean, a lot of people have had to replace their, systems.
So this fee is to pay the officer to go out and inspect?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
And then we do recoup some of it, like Jim was saying, with the revenue.
If it's not one for one, I don't think
It's
we
not
wanna,
one for
we don't
one.
wanna deduct here.
No, we
I
don't
see.
want to
Okay.
So you can
deduct
make sure
here.
you have it.
I'd
I'm
rather
just
have
making
more
a comment.
here.
I'm just making a comment, yeah.
Right.
That's okay.
No, that's right.
Okay.
Ordinance update. We haven't gotten that revision time yet. Sean?
No? Well,
You're working.
we should be at the end of it now, though.
Yeah, I think so. So if we don't get that with the holidays coming up, at
Well,
the beginning of the year.
It'll be, yeah, if I had to guess, I'd say it'll probably be the first 6 months of next year, probably, till it's probably all said and done.
So we're looking at $500 for what?
I think that's good. to
'Cause you just have to pay to advertise, but
Right.
that's pretty
That's
much,
good.
yeah, that's probably fine.
And the next one's salary. And I'll put it over time. I left that the same. You never know. I mean, you never know how many trees are gonna come down.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
No, we got lots of trees.
Everywhere.
And the road diesel and oil, I took that to, and I pulled out the gallons that we
She's
used.
gonna have the 3% from last year, I'm trying to calculate that.
And I put $20,000.
Yeah. Well, they got
Because
some-
we got
Sure.
we have the 2 tanks, we just got
And with
one.
it, and with them, decreasing the amount of oil they're gonna,
I know, it's concerning,
Yeah.
it's gonna go up.
it is concerning, but I put 20,000.
Yeah,
Yep.
I hate to say that. We got one tank filled, it was around 800 gallons, and last year, I think it was like 1,800, this year was 4,300.
Just, here's a recommendation for when you go to, put the salaries in for road crew and office staff and stuff like that, I think it'd be a good idea to give that your calculation, your spreadsheet that you use for every employee, this is how much they make, and just to give it to the supervisors, so they have I think they have a good, so they have a good handle on, okay, how are you making this calculation? There's the total, but where's that
Okay.
coming from?
I can
Yeah,
do that.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a spreadsheet on that.
Okay.
Okay, road department clothing allowance, that's pretty much stays the same. Minor tools equipment, Brad told me that just leave that the same. It's at
Yeah.
3,000. Storage and inspection fees, I increased that because, next year is our 3-year inspection for our underground tanks. So that's going to cost a little more because just our annual inspection this year, cost us, you can see here, $572, so, there might be something else in there, but it was around $500. And normally, that didn't cost me that much. I had 2 different guys, one was from Halifax, the other one was from Hummelstown. They both went out of business, I guess with COVID. So I had to go to Keystone Petroleum, and they're very expensive. I'd rather go to a private individual, but I couldn't find one
Yeah.
that, you know, is certified. You have to get, and DEP's not making it any easier. Personally,
No.
I think they want to get rid of the mom and pops. That's what I think.
Moving right along,
Right.
road crew seminars here.
Okay, so 1,500, road crew seminars, I put it 350 because I'm hoping that some of you can go to the convention, the state convention.
When is that?
It's
this
in
year?
April, like towards the end of April. It's very beneficial.
Yeah, no, I've never heard anything bad. That is good.
I always glean something. I mean, some years more than others, but I always get something and just, you know, I usually go, one of them I usually do at the end of the day is the question and answer for townships, and they divide you up in the size of township that we are. So you're taught, you have the managers, you have the big townships there, you have the little townships there, and they're all talking about some of the things that we deal with, some of them we don't deal with yet. But it's very beneficial. You see the vendors there, networking with the vendors, and then, you know, they usually have maybe some specials on things too. So if it happens that, I'm just gonna use this for an example, say you're looking for accounting software, and you happen to, you know, get them there at the convention, sometimes they're having a special if you have them come to your place at that time. It's just a very, very good networking of all the townships in the whole state of Pennsylvania. So,
This line item, the next one for road equipment capital purchase.
yes,
How much, I know we have capital purchase in the tax formula. How much do we have in that account?
well, we have several different CDs, there's one coming due, I'm gonna
Just
say
give me around
around 70,000.
70,000.
And then whatever it is this year, right now it's in our general fund, it's in there. Like every quarter I distribute to the ambulance fund, that's taken out every quarter.
Right.
But the amount for the township stays in there till the end of the year. I have a CD that's coming due.
Okay, now I just want to know, how much
But-
is in there for capital
For capital
purchases?
purchase for next year will
No,
be,
just in the account for capital purchases. Every year we get taxed, and part of it is for capital equipment.
If
How
you wa-
much do we
Yeah.
have built up
for,
for
For-
anything?
If we needed to go buy a new truck, how much would we have to spend if we sucked it out?
I would say after we put in this year's, we'll have about 90,000. Right now we have 70.
Okay, that's what I wanted
Because
to know.
it's usually around 23,000 a year that we get from the tax.
Okay, so I just want to make a comment that earlier we talked about, should we raise the millage or anything like that? Is there any, you know, if we're not gonna buy capital equipment, and some point, if we get a really big bulk amount in that fund, maybe we want to not increase the taxes, but shift the millage to.
You
it's
could
just-
do that, but I'll tell you what, the price of a truck,
It's just a
90,000
suggestion, that's
is the
fine.
drop.
We don't really,
Yeah.
that's fine, okay.
I mean, you
Just a
could do
thought.
that would take,
Yeah.
you have to do an action by the
But
board.
we're-
We're gonna have to look
I
at
think
Sooner or
we're
later,
trying
we're
to
gonna
say-
need one,
I
right?
know that,
one truck, and we're gonna have to
Okay.
replace
remember
the
it was
tractor
mentioned,
sometime.
yeah, the tractor mower, that's what I thought
Oh,
we
yeah,
were
yeah,
saving
yeah.
for.
Wow.
Really expensive.
So we are, I mean, I
No,
remember
that's a
that,
good question that Kathy, and ask it that
Oh,
way,
sure.
because again, we
Yeah.
need to know.
you need to know
how
you
much is
can
coming in
do
each
that,
year,
you
but
can
also how
do
much
that.
is in reserve, so, yeah, because, hey, even to discuss the idea of raising millage, you should be able to say why.
Why?
Right
Oh,
off the bat,
absolutely.
and we're not there, so.
No.
I just always ask, because I don't want to assume.
Yep, yep.
So here we are at this snow and ice removal,
Right,
and that's just for this,
So
whatever.
you're
we
gonna keep that
decide.
at 17 then?
well, that's what I'm anticipating this year, because I just started to say, I was trying to get quotes for the Anaskid, and this is beyond me, but this Anaskid is around $24 a ton for Anaskid.
They really like you for that, no?
I just don't know why, except because they can, but,
We're all the same.
for 200 tons, it's
They're
$4,700.
not using it in sand mounds, so they gotta sell it somewhere.
Yeah, sell it somewhere.
So they figured it's a
Well,
good
it's the only
way.
thing you can use.
It's about the only other thing you use it for.
I don't know what else you use it for.
$4,700.
So
That's not salt, that's just Anaskid. So what do we say, Kathy? I think you said,
17,000?
no, I thought you said about the salt. Or was it you, Sean? that-
Yeah, It was about $14,000
14,000
in
and
salt,
40.
for salt.
Oh, you're talking the ARP, that was the ARP money?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, if we wanted to use it to pay that, just
that's
for, just for a big ticket
Well,
item.
I'm honestly thinking, 20,000 for the
Yeah, that's good.
Enniskin and salt.
Put it there.
You think that's too
20?
much?
Yeah,
Or do you think 18,000?
let's do it.
I just don't, you don't know what kind of winter, I mean, I
Your
wish I did.
200 ton at 24 plus the salt, that's 18,350 altogether. Using those numbers.
23.
20 reasonable.
Brad's at
20?
Yeah, but that
20.
should, hopefully that'll cover it.
I mean.
So contracted services, is that when we pay somebody to help us out?
Yes,
Okay.
and I don't know, who do we must have had somebody last year.
Steve.
$150? No. This is when we have like, say we have a blizzard and then we have to call a bulldozer to come in. I don't know, I have $150.
And where does Cleveland Cove Road?
Oh, that's what that is. That's what that is.
Okay.
That's what that is.
And
Thank
by
you,
the way, we
Jim.
wanna put him on for, while we're thinking about that, we wanna, I'd say we just let Dewey do that if he wants to do it.
I
He does a
can
good
add
job.
that to
Because
the
they're working,
agenda.
well, we don't have any other options here, do we?
He does a good
Yeah,
job, I
yeah.
gotta tell you, he does a good job.
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah, add it to the agenda, please.
Okay.
This year.
He is what he is, but he does a good job.
Okay, so we're gonna keep that at the anticipated amount for this year, 1,100?
We, figured on paying him anymore, how much did we pay now?
We paid him $75.
So what does that add up? Oh, okay, $75.
Yeah, did he have an
Paid
objection to that?
for,
Yeah, if he has an objection, he can let us know.
So we're looking at 75 there? Is that what we want that?
No, you're gonna want more than that.
No, yeah, 70, yeah, but $75 an hour, yeah.
Or $75 a trip,
Wow.
just around $75 a
Well, we
trip.
spent 480
I'm sorry.
last year, we're at 150 this year, we still have the rest of the year to go. And again, you don't know what next year's gonna
Right,
be, so.
that's true, it might be added to it if we
Okay.
get, I hope not, but if we get snow in December.
So we wanna
Okay.
keep it where you have it at 1,100?
You tell me,
1,100, yeah.
1,100,
Is that right?
I think so.
Just-
okay. Next one is signs and marking.
I don't know how you judge that, because you keep stealing everything we got, so.
Somebody on
Somebody's
Mountain
stealing all the
Road, I wish
Mountain
somebody
Road
would get
Really?
caught.
They're stealing all the 50-mile-an-hour signs underneath the curb sign. I don't
Oh,
know.
is it?
I don't even know how they get them off, because they leave the bolts there. The bolts are there, the signs are going. I don't know how they get them off.
Is there a piece of the sign actually left under the bolt?
No, the bolt was hanging, the both bolts are
Just
hanging.
hanging?
Yeah. And then the other one, they tried getting it off, they took the one bolt, but they didn't get the other one out.
Well, last year they were stealing the stop
Stop
signs.
signs, yeah, last year they were stealing stop signs.
They're expensive.
Yeah, that gets pretty ugly too when they're at a bad intersection.
Yeah,
Do we have them marked in any way that we're able to?
they were putting Rye
They-
Township on the back.
They're not even allowed to take them to recycling anymore. They'll get in trouble if they show up there,
Oh, yeah.
so they can't do it.
It's hard to find them.
Okay, so what does that leave us otherwise?
I don't think I have that.
How are we only at does that come in a different period or something? Why are we only at 470?
That covers your signs, that covers your line painting, that covers your delineators, any kind of markings on the road.
Okay, well, last year we spent $7,235.
Right.
Year to date, we're only at $470.
Right, but I just got the bill today for the line painting.
Mhm.
What was that?
It's close to 7,000.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it'll be similar to last year's
Yeah.
year to date. So,
Better increase,
Yeah, I think it's
8,500?
8,500?
Brad?
yeah.
That
Or-
sounds good.
Yeah, I mean,
More?
if we keep losing signs.
Well, yeah.
I'll try 85.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Mm.
Storm sewers and drain materials, and I know we're only at 7650, but I don't have the bill yet for Pierce Road. I don't know what you're anticipating for next year for storm sewers, drain materials. That's your cross pipes, that's your, say you need riprap in a shoulder or something, anything to do with drainage,
You aware of any big ones coming, Brad?
you know?
Yeah, we talked about what, there's one about, and we talked about, crosswalk lines and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So it was 17 high,
Yeah,
or is
Aren't there? Yes,
So where do you wanna leave that at, Dave?
I don't know, what do you want to put in there? Now, that also is, like I said, your riprap, that kind of stuff, there, you guys, and that stuff's
We
expensive.
should get some more 18-inch
What,
pipe in this year though, because it's
Yeah,
gonna be more expensive next year.
what about that, hypo flasher?
We can include that in there if you want.
so 17 enough, or do we need to take it up a little?
That don't give us problems, we're just gonna leave it here
For now?
You should have made it 20.
20?
Twenty.
Should you make it 20?
Is a
20, and if
reasonable
I
number
need
if
to,
we
I
can
can
figure.
pull down a little bit, yeah.
Is that okay with
That should be fine. I just want you to know it included any kind of drainage, stone too, anything that has to do with drainage. Repair machines or vehicles in the house.
Me and Johnny been band-aiding the mower all the time, so I guess you guys can do that.
Yeah.
He's been welding it.
Should have bought a new tractor a few years ago when they were.
No, that's
Still-
2020 hindsight.
How do you
Oh, yeah,
know?
no, that little 2020.
What was the cost you had looked at them to
Well, I
get?
think it was 160, 180,000.
With the big drill mower? It was expensive.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
We tried.
What's the difference between repair machines and vehicles in-house, and repair machines and vehicles contracted? I mean, just somebody else is
With the
gonna
garage.
fix it.
Somebody else does it at a garage where they can't do it, something they can't do it.
That makes sense, okay.
They do a lot. They try, but some of these newer
Yeah, we
electric,
You can't do some of this new
electronic
stuff.
stuff,
Well, that,
No.
yeah, that, yeah,
We do the backhoe, so.
yeah.
the backhoes, the tractor. Johnny was in here, not Friday before. He had to come back and fix the mower.
It's all done.
Okay, so what do you think, Brad? You do the repairs, you and Johnny, so. I had it at 6,000, is can we drop it some, or what do you think? You never know what's gonna break down, so what about 5,000?
That's what.
Just put the difference and make it
Yeah,
5.
make it 5.
But you never know what that's gonna be.
No,
We gotta run,
We have to put
fix again,
some-
get a piece of plate steel, and fix the backhoe bucket again, we have to fix the top of it now, because it's all rotted out. So I just want you guys to know sometime, we're going down there and get some plate steel.
What kind of steel do you use?
Uh,
Just anything they got?
Yeah,
Well, what if I do somewhere we could get 100K high tensile stuff you guys could use on it instead of just butter
We can weld
steel?
that again.
Yeah, you just have to have the right rod or right wire.
Okay, we'll have to get the.
Well, talk to me about that, cause I can even have the plates, if you need plates to a certain size,
Mhm.
I mean, I can probably even have them cut at work,
Okay.
so that all you guys would have to do is bring it back and
That'd be
weld it on.
Okay,
that would be great.
I mean, and that's what
It
they,
might last.
that's what they use on snow buckets and stuff, they use 100K steel for the wear plates and stuff on that, so.
See,
Yeah,
down there, it's, right now, it's 50 cents a pound.
yeah, well, no, it ain't,
I know,
it's,
but
100K
it's-
steel is $1.20 a pound,
Yeah, see,
but,
But if you
but
already
it'll
get what
last.
you need for that, you don't
Yeah,
have to take
but
it
just-
away.
yeah.
check with me, we can work
Okay.
something on that.
Okay, contracted services, that's repair, say the clutch goes out, or I don't know. Transmission, what do you think? Looks like we almost had 10,000 2021. We're up to almost 5,300 now. We budgeted 6,200.
Garage rates aren't gonna get any cheaper, that's the problem.
Uh-uh.
Well, we just had to We had that one truck down and got it fixed this year, because the light being back on, so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
$2,000, wasn't it?
Close to it, yeah.
Yeah.
6 grand?
Yeah.
Six.
Yeah.
6.
Make it
Maybe
six,
six,
leave it at
6,000. Okay. Road maintenance and guide rail materials. This is not just guide rail, but it's also any kind of stone. Say that they decided they have to put stone on Cove Road, then that's road maintenance. So that's two-way modified or whatever. All of that basically goes in here. What doesn't go in drainage goes in there. So.
Where do you get shale at? Where you doing shale?
Shale would be road maintenance.
Okay, because I'm on a shale. If I get that done this year, I still wanna put shale on another portion of Miller's Gap next year. If I get somebody to do it, somebody to commit to it. So I wanna put $10,000 in there.
Okay. For the dirt portion.
Yeah, for the dirt portion. Yeah.
Okay.
Kirby's supposed to do a portion of that this year, but he didn't show it up yet. I have trouble finding people that do the shale job.
Oh, yeah,
Is that okay with you guys?
Oh.
That will get me down pretty far if I do 10 this year and 10 next year. That'll get me down, that whole top section should be done now.
And where's that, Brad?
Miller's
Miller's
Gap.
Gap.
It's terrible. I mean, it's.
It was like this.
So what number are you
I've been
proposing?
up there.
10,000.
Oh, just
But
for that,
that's
just
just
for
for
that.
that.
That's just
Yeah,
for
that's
that
just
job.
for that,
That in
yeah.
there.
So you're gonna have to.
We had 32,000 in last year, and we have, now
Well,
you,
see, we had 10,000 in there for this year. too,
oh, that's
for
true,
shale.
there's 10,000 in there for that, yes, that's
Right,
right,
so,
okay,
but I haven't got it done yet, so.
no. Well, what about, it looks like we used about 24,000 the year before.
Last year, yeah.
What about 20, 23, or
Yeah, let's do that.
23?
Yeah.
Three. I don't know.
You wanna do
Or 25, or 25, or 20, make it 25.
Yeah, because now I'm getting, fuel surcharge.
Yeah, all right, Jim?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Miscellaneous rentals, I just put 1,000, I never know what you guys may,
Yeah.
if you need a jackhammer or
Well,
something.
let me tell you something, Weber is like my savior.
He's got it all.
He lets me borrow his stuff, okay, doesn't charge me a thing, okay? I mean, how many excavators let you do that?
Nice.
Yep.
Well, no big guys, that's for sure.
Yep.
Okay, and we are covered under insurance, remember you asked the guy that was here for the
Yep.
review?
Yep.
So we're covered when he does that.
So we're leaving that at 1,000, we'll just leave
Yeah,
that.
Just leave it there.
Okay, for that.
That way you got something.
Roads contracted.
I'm sorry, Dave, what was that we were talking about covered?
That
Miscellaneous
Oh.
rentals. It has $1,000 in it.
Is that what you were asking?
No, you mentioned insurance.
Oh, no, wait, that was just a comment I made, because Brad had asked the guy who came to review our insurance if we were covered, and he said, yes, if you're using contractors' tools, or they're using yours, that our policy covers
If
that.
someone gets injured.
Okay.
Right, if someone's injured, or,
Yeah.
you know, even the equipment, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying, now, your deductible is 500,
No,
right?
100%.
Okay, roads contracted, that is, pretty much where I don't know what you want, we have to discuss that about what Brad wants to do for paving, what your projects are next year, because that account usually ties into that. You know, like it, say, I'm just gonna use a quick example, $1,000, or $100,000 to pave this road. But the liquid fuels only has 75, so we'll pull some money out of here. Or we'll use a contractor to do part of it.
Right.
Excuse me, so it kind of ties into those larger projects. Or any other project, doesn't have to be paving, it could be a culvert, you know, just like, this year.
Mhm.
Do you have anything scheduled, or that needs work for the next year, Brad?
As far as the paving or as far as the,
Anything that would fall
Anything that
under
would
that.
Anything
involve a
that, yeah,
contract.
anything that we're
That's
see,
what-
anticipating.
that's hard to judge because you don't know what happens through the
Right.
year. I mean, you get a.
Depends how hard of a winter we have.
Right.
I mean,
If
that,
You get a
If you have-
sinkhole or something.
If you have a flood or something and you develop a sinkhole, you can't,
yeah,
the
that-
pipe goes out, you can't judge on
Okay,
it.
but how did we get to the 20,000 that's currently in there?
Where is it?
Under 450.
Well, she has year-to-date, so I'm thinking that year-to-date is from the beginning of the year to October
Till-
6th.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then
that's
this-
right.
Oh, I'm saying, is there something that tells us 20,000 is not correct? I mean,
Sounds like best we know 20,000 is a reasonable.
It's really
figure.
just,
We really
Right,
don't know anything that's.
Because of Mark Weber, I don't have his bill yet,
Okay,
because he's still putting pipes in.
okay. So are you thinking it would be more than 20?
Or the 20 is based on Mark's pending bills.
Yeah, he gave us a proposal, I don't know if it's gonna
Oh,
go up or
okay.
not.
But then the 20 is
May-
reasonable for
may
what
go
we
up.
know right now.
Yes, 20 is
Then
reasonable.
yeah,
I'm
well,
okay
then
with
let's
20.
just leave it at 20.
Leave
if
it at
that's-
20,
Please.
that's what's anticipated for this year,
Yep.
right now,
Okay with
Yeah,
that?
you're good.
okay? Road construction overlay. And there again, this is your, your overlay of paving.
Mhm.
If we're gonna add money to your projects, and I know you haven't talked to Rick or Van, I have never ever had my, not paid my highway aid at this time of the year. That makes it hard for budget, because I just got the bill, and then to try to get everything settled. So Rick Levan, I was working on my completion report today at, the Dot Grant website, and, it's almost done. But, anyway, that will trigger him to come out. And normally when he comes out to look at the roads, then, Brad or whomever, usually Ken, then they'll say, okay, this is what we're anticipating for next year, like he did last year for us. Can you go out, take your measure rod, whatever, and give us an estimate for our budget? So I'm anticipating that by the next meeting, so that I'll have those figures a little bit.
Right.
I feel better with it, I don't know, I mean, he doesn't know
Okay.
either, but I think he adds like 5% to it.
So we're
Yeah,
just-
so he has a little.
He has a
buffer
little
there.
bit better,
Yeah.
so
gives
we're
me
gonna hold off on that for right now.
that's what I'm thinking, till you figure
Okay.
out exactly what you plan on doing, like you knew your projects for this year, now you
Right.
need to figure out your projects for
Right.
next year. I know you have some idea, but,
Do we have some guesstimate at all? At all? If we don't, we don't. That's.
I know, I don't know if it's here or not, wait a second. Okay, we're going to be getting, at least what their estimate is from PennDOT is $121,925, in liquid fuels. So that's not a whole lot, when you start, putting
Yeah.
money on a road. So you're probably, gonna have to add more to it. There again, it's so hard because I have a CD that's coming due next year for road projects, that we can pull in through capital reserve. But I don't know what he's doing, so I don't know, I can't say, but, we're definitely gonna have to put more in than
That we get,
than
because
$121,000.
that's not gonna be enough to
And a
do
little bit
anything.
of interest that I can get off of it, we're just not going to get it.
But are we going to have an answer by the time?
I'm thinking we
This needs to
will.
go? Okay.
Yeah, because like I said, my completion report is almost done, 99%.
So does he actually get that completion report?
He gets it, yes,
Okay.
I'll submit it and then he'll get it.
Okay,
And
so
I
then
will-
that
I always
triggers
send him an
to-
email and let him know that, hey, so then he looks. But I'm not gonna get hold of Rick tomorrow because it's a long weekend, I'd be very surprised.
Right, yeah.
That's just the way
Well, he's probably gonna be off.
he's probably gonna be off tomorrow, yes. But anyway, I will get hold of him, and he's pretty good when I say, hey, I need this,
Right.
I need this for budget, he'll try to make time to come out. The thing is, he's gotta be here before 1:30, so he can go out with you guys, because I'm not going out with him. Okay, so we'll just leave that blank for now, is that okay?
Yep.
Till we get a little more. Mowing the cemetery, I left the same. Think that's okay,
That's
120, is that good? The cemetery's not We're getting a few more people.
Was that 120 a mow at times?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'd be 11 mows.
I think that's what it averages out to.
Yeah.
Once in a while, you might have an extra, or you might have one less.
Well, that's why
You might have one less. I think the one year we
That's
did.
enough for 12, so.
Right, see, last year, we didn't even use all of it, so. Payments to library, that'll be done when I get the taxes all finalized. Recreation board, contributions, I haven't talked a whole lot to Nancy about that. But that'll probably be basically the same as, very similar to what we had this year.
So what do you want to put in there? Where do you want to get it?
Yeah, let me talk to Nancy and see if they have, I don't think they've been over on anything, they're really very frugal people. And I know some of them even provide some of the beverages
Yeah,
and stuff,
so,
you know.
Yep, call for her and see what she says.
Yeah, okay. Senior citizen contribution is same.
You guys all right with that?
yeah.
Printing, I think that's probably going out there. Miscellaneous, I always leave that blank, so if I have an odd amount, then
Can-
I balance it.
Right.
Police pension is 0. And there, I did want to point out the non-uniform MMO. Instead of having 2 lines there for, the expense, you'll only have 1 now, because they combined them into the same. We put all of the cost into 1 MMO, they don't want 2. So, okay. So that's already determined, and the non-uniform contribution that the township pays is a 0, because it's now in the 18,558. Workers' comp insurance, I put that at 12.5. Our loss runs are really low, our experience factor is low, and, I just, so far we haven't had a whole lot. We do pay, part of that includes, our share of workers' comp for the volunteer fire companies, from Shermansdale and from Marysville, so, just so you know that. I know I tell you every year, but it's hard to remember. So I just leave that at 12.5.
It was
Yeah, that's
paid
all right.
taxes. That's separate from Lorena. This is
You
paid
guys all right
taxes.
with the 12.5?
Yeah.
Okay. Property, equipment, and automobile insurance, that, went up to 25,000, so, he came and did a review. I'm actually getting a comparative quote from another company, so I'll let you know, but I have a feeling that's what it's going to be, so that's what I put in there. So
He's a good guy, too.
they've been very good to us, H.A. Thompson.
Yep.
We're in a pool there.
Yep.
It's a liability pool, so. Disability insurance, I left that at 500. And health insurance, I do what I always do, and I've rounded those numbers, but I take what, like I was just explaining before, I take, the amount that we're paying now per month, figure out the 5 months, and then I add, I figured out the total for last year and add 5% to that. So because we don't, our contract runs from June to May 31st, we don't realize the increase for the whole year. So I always go by 5%, because then that covers us for about 9%, 9 to 10% increase, which I hope I don't see. But that seems to work. We haven't been over budget. I'm hoping that maybe it stabilizes this year. It went up a little more last year than usual, if I recall correctly. So I put that in there, that amount. That's what it came out to be. Payroll tax expenses, I don't calculate that until I have all the salaries done. And I do not have our unemployment compensation rate yet from PSATs. So this year was 2.05%, so that does make a difference in figuring out what it will be. So that will be done, and there I have a sheet that I calculate that on. once I get that rate. They said, they did send us an email and said it should be coming. I just didn't get it yet. I don't budget refund prior year taxes. Capital reserve, there again, it's gonna depend. I think the only thing we might pull out of capital reserve will be for the road projects. If you're not looking at any other capital equipment purchases. Not this year, okay. And the ARP monies, don't know. If we need to pull anything out of there for that or not. Why don't we see where we're at once I get through a lot of the
And
other.
once the numbers fill in.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not a miracle worker. Do you have any other questions? I mean, I got a lot of things to follow up on here, and like I said, I'm waiting on some additional information. Kathy, do you have anything?
I think that's it. Let me just look at my,
Well, if something comes up, just give me a call.
She's got some notes in the chat.
Okay.
okay, I already asked you that. Oh, I'm just curious,
Uh-huh.
why is the office telephone so much?
Well, that's for the telephone, the fax, and the cell phone.
We still use fax.
It's
Is there somebody that
still
requires
here.
that?
There's still people that fax me, yeah. Not a lot, but I still get it. And believe it or not, who was it? Somebody just last week said, I said, well, I can email that to you, and they said, well, can you fax it? I said, okay, yeah, I can do that. I don't think it comes through as nice.
Yeah, all the questions I had prior were already answered.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. I gotta get going.
Are we
Yeah.
about done for?
I think if you don't have anything else, you know.
I do not, Brad.
I don't, I just go through.
We get some of this stuff answered, we'll
Right,
be,
and
we good to
next
go?
week,
Auditor, any
we
other?
should be done with that pipe, so maybe you can meet with,
I don't have any other
Rick O'Brien
questions.
if
So,
he's available.
so for the next meeting, what we discussed is gonna be filled in, and we'll have kind of a draft with everything
Yes.
included
I'm
for us to
hoping to
review.
have, I'm
Okay.
hoping to get some of those big questions answered with the roads, and, so then we'll see where we are.
And if you can provide your spreadsheets, where you do a calculation, okay?
Mhm.
Here's the salaries of the road crew, and times 3%, this is,
Right.
this is what we're putting in the salaries, so we have some idea, supervisors have some idea, okay, how did we come up with this number?
Right,
Okay.
right.
If they can
Yeah, because that's a
Yeah, because if they have the, exact
sizable
calculation.
piece, but it's
Yeah.
it's
Right.
needed. It's
It
just
definitely.
to be able to understand it.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I have an Excel
Oh,
spreadsheet.
okay.
I do it all. I actually have a
Okay.
table.
I have to excuse
Oh,
myself,
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
It actually makes it easier by having that every year, so,
Yeah.
okay, how do I calculate this?
Okay. Well, then we're at the point of second public comment. Any public comment at this time?
I'll save it.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Although I do have to say, I would highly recommend we do some guide rail. Because that up on Lamb's Gap is about 18 inches high off the ground, and that's it.
That's a good comment. And I wanted to get with you all today before you leave. so.
Okay.
Yeah, unless you were planning on cutting out quick.
No.
Just for 1 minute.
Yeah.
Bob?
Yes. I don't know about this, I don't know what you call COVID money, Biden money or what. Are you allowed to use that to cut trees? We have a lot of leaners that should be cut.
That's true.
We're on,
Well, I
Something
travel
else?
lambs a lot, so I noticed them, but there's quite a few that should come out of there. I don't know about the other roads, but
Well, the one year we contracted with a guy who came in,
Yeah,
And then you
it was
guys
on
have-
Lamb's Gap, right?
that was on theirs, yeah.
well, I'm just asking, can you use the money for that?
I think you could,
Sounds like you
yeah.
could.
didn't see anything that said we couldn't.
Yeah.
The
No.
question is just, do we want to?
All right.
Right.
And how about the CEO?
Codes enforcement?
Code enforcement, yeah.
What about?
Well, can you use that money to pay for
Oh,
him?
to pay him.
Because we have many, many issues in this township, which I brought up before, and they're not being addressed. Either the guy doesn't wanna go on the property, or he's afraid to go on the property, or whatever. And then whenever he does, he charges an arm and a leg. I'm almost thinking we should have our own guy, maybe go to some other township. Just something for you to think about.
Is that it, Bob?
That's it.
I actually had a thought, it may be beneficial to do a rough estimate on how many hours road crew is spending on fixing something like the mower deck, or the mower, that they said they have to keep repairing. And see, it might be beneficial to use that, COVID money for buying a new one. It's an expensive piece of equipment, it's a one-off purchase, the equipment's covered, and if they're spending hours upon hours constantly fixing this piece of equipment,
Oh, yeah, because they've been patching it.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, like-
Patch you to death.
and then it's not coming out of that, capital funds account or whatever, it would be coming out of the COVID money.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay.
That keeps it all in one.
Mhm.
Won't be, it would be one big purchase, yeah.
Okay, hearing no more comments, make a motion to adjourn, do it a second.
Second.
All in favor? Meeting is adjourned, thank you everyone for coming out.